Young and the restless Christian Jules LeBlanc discusses his role as his big daddy in Cat on a Hot Tin Roof in an interview. Christian Jules LeBlanc, who has played lawyer and devoted Father Michael Baldwin on CBS's The Young and the Restless for nearly 40 years, has won an amazing 3 Daytime Emmy Awards and been nominated for a total of 12 for his performance. Now, a few weeks away from turning 64, LeBlanc is acting out a lifetime goal by portraying Big Daddy in a limited run of Cat on a Hot Tin Roof by Tennessee Williams at the theater at Street Clements. In a recent interview with Theater Mania, LeBlanc discussed the role's significance, his admiration for Williams, working with Tony Award candidate Allison. Was it true that acting in a Tennessee Williams play was something you always wanted to do? Even though I wasn't born in New Orleans, I've always considered it home, just as I've always considered Tennessee to be home. At Tulane, I read a lot of his works, and years later, at the Tennessee Williams Festival, I performed some of his scenes, but I've never done a full-length Williams play before, and I couldn't be more thrilled. How did you end up in this position? They had auditions for the part, and I was the only one more astonished than everybody else to hear that I had made it to the second round. In retrospect, I wonder if they would have given me a second glance if I hadn't started going gray during the pandemic. In retrospect, I am very relieved and grateful that happened. I had to come to terms with the fact that I would never again play the lead role. Unfortunately, they only handed me about half of the script, and it was a huge hassle to learn all of the lines while still keeping up with me and R. The effort seems unnecessary. Did you really wish to take on the role of Big Daddy? Yes, but more importantly, I was aware that the folks at Ruth's stage aimed to update the traditional Cat look and feel. In the 1950s, when the show was being cast, things were very different. People were represented as unsexy back then, but it's obvious that Big Daddy is still interested in sex and can be hazardous. In addition to my admiration for Williams, that's another reason I was drawn to this portion. You must also find it intriguing since the drama centers on a household in which everyone conceals something from one another. Many of us think that your greatest strength and worst weakness both lay in the secret you hold. Each of us is certain that our deepest, darkest secret is the worst in the world. My mother is Creole, and my grandmother was a legal slave. According to my hobby of researching family trees, it came as a shock to learn that the women in my family had to hide the fact that they were of a different race. Also, even though my husband Sid had been out for a long time, I kept my own secret about being gay and married to a man for over 2 decades. Managing the public's perception of yourself as an actor is important. You wish to blend completely into your role. You believe that your followers have little interest in hearing about your private life. The scheduled opening month for this show was February. In light of the many setbacks, please tell me how it felt to finally begin rehearsals. It was only 2 days before our first rehearsal that I flew in from California, where I had been presenting at the Daytime Emmy Awards on June 24. After months of communicating with everyone involved in this show solely via Zoom, I finally got to meet them all in person during the dress rehearsal. Also, after working with the same individuals in daytime, whom I adore, for so long, it was wonderful to experience a brand new dynamic with this cast. I've met some new people that I can bounce ideas off of, and I believe they will help me grow as an actor. Does that include your big mama, Allison Fraser? Absolutely. Allison is wonderful to work with because she is so enthusiastic and well-versed. Allison's skillful maneuvering around blocks is an exhibition in itself. At times, she even tweets while in character. She's a tough big mama, that one. We've severed the ties that bound them in prior adaptations, and it's let me develop my own vision of Big Daddy. One of your other main ladies, Julie Harris, is the subject of a fantastic tale. May I borrow it? When I first started acting after leaving Y&R in 1993, Charles Nelson Rayleigh was my instructor. It was always my intention to return to the stage. In 1995, he directed Julie and I in a play titled Ladies in Retirement at the Coconut Grove Playhouse in Florida. On opening night, Julie handed me a card listing all her main guys, including Marlon Brando and myself. Some terrible years could have been avoided with the use of that card. So now that you're back in New York, what are you most looking forward to doing here besides the play? I've never lived near Union Square before, but this time I was able to find a peaceful apartment not far away. On my way to a rehearsal one day, I stumbled upon a Harry Potter shop on Broadway and 21st Street. Since I'm such a huge fan of Harry Potter, so much so that I'm currently writing my own children's book, I decided to stop by and do some shopping. Indeed, this is a fantastic location. I've started bringing my elder one to practices in an effort to get director Joe Rosario to vouch for my acting skills. Before I head back to California, I'd like to make it to Broadway to catch Harry Potter and the Cursed Child.